Hi beautiful humans, welcome to my channel. Today I would like to remind you that you can trust yourself on what the next step in your life is. Everybody's journey is so different, but if you're on the path of self-development, you're committed to creating your best life and becoming a better person, you really can't go wrong. Once you're on the path, you're on the path, and we can try and run away from it. Sometimes we can fall off track for a little bit, but ultimately we always end up coming back because we can't escape. Once we've had a spiritual awakening or made that commitment, it's like we've found a deeper purpose in life, and we can't deny that. We've unlocked a whole other level of reality that's possible for us, and we really can't ever run away from it. Sometimes we have to go through times where we feel like we are off track, it seems like we've fallen off track, but really it's happening for a reason, and it's because there's a lesson for us in that experience. Sometimes we need to fall off track, maybe pick up some pieces that we dropped along the way in the past. Sometimes we have to relearn the same lessons through different experiences. Kind of the core reason I wanted to make this video was because there's a lot of content out there that if you want to do something in life, if you have a dream, you need to start now. There's so much content out there, and so much of this kind of advice out there where it's if you got a dream, you got to start now, make it happen, take that action. And there's nothing wrong with that advice. It has a place in the process. I just feel like it's pushed a little bit too much and isn't really balanced out. Yes, clearly we do have to take action. We do have to start making decisions that are aligned with our highest self and our future versions of ourselves. We do have to slowly chip away at building that life and that career, whatever it is. It is definitely important to take action, but I just think that there's a little too much emphasis on that side of things. With my personal experience, for example, I wanted to start this YouTube channel probably 3 years ago is when I first had the idea to create my own YouTube channel. Initially, and for quite a long time, I really wanted to be a YouTube yoga teacher and have that kind of channel, which was very inspiring and motivating, and pushed me to study yoga, which I'm so grateful for. It's probably one of the most pivotal things I've done in my life. But yeah, it's really interesting how it's changed, and it has actually worked out really well. But also so many things could have happened if I started posting videos back then. Maybe I would still be making yoga videos. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about this because I've in my journey of becoming a content creator, I've seen so many videos where content creators start now, just get it out there. Maybe for some people that is what needs to happen, and that's exactly what they need to hear. And a lot of those videos, they do say if you never take action, you'll never make it happen. And that is very, very important advice. I don't want to take away from that at all. It's kind of obvious. If you never actually start something, it will never happen. A lot of these people will say things you can't just manifest and dream about it and never take action. And yes, absolutely, that is the case. We need both the feminine and the masculine energies. If you aren't aware of what that means, basically, briefly, the feminine energy is the more passive, still. It's that energy of manifesting and dreaming about things and feeling, and that's the feminine aspect of manifestation, and then the masculine is like the doing, the action, the movement. So we need both. Like when it comes to manifestation, we need both. And a lot of the content creators that I'm talking about are male, so it kind of makes sense that they're more pushing for that, like taking action every chance you can. So it makes sense. But what I've found through my journey is that I am so incredibly grateful that I waited to start when I was ready. You know, I just had this like thought in the back of my head of like, oh, it would be really cool to be a online yoga, YouTube yoga teacher, because for one, I absolutely love at home yoga. Like majority of the years I've been practicing yoga, I've done it at home. I actually prefer having like that personal, nourishing like experience where you don't have to wear all the fancy yoga clothes to feel like you fit in or something. Like I love just wearing my PJs or like whatever I want to, my onesie if I want to. And huge shout out to my absolute favorite online yoga teacher, Adrienne Louise. If you're interested in trying yoga, I'm gonna leave a link in the description down below for her channel, because she changed my life. She changed my life so much. I always was so inspired to, you know, do something kind of similar to her, like in the sense that I really resonated with how she makes yoga like so comfy and like welcoming, and she's really quirky and, you know, real and like vulnerable, and like she just really shows her humanness. And I find that is so incredibly like magnetic and comforting as well, like especially when you're starting out yoga, and you know it's a challenge to get yourself to do it. And so I just absolutely adore Adrienne. I have so much gratitude for her and the inspiration. I'm gonna pour myself some tea. If you don't have yourself like a nice warm or cool beverage, depending on where you are in the world right now, and what the temperature is, maybe you want a nice iced tea or a smoothie, but I highly recommend you get yourself something nice to drink. I'm going to pour myself some tea. I've put like a mix of green tea and this like sticky chai that has cacao in it as well. So yeah, and some honey. So I actually haven't tried this combination of teas before. Hopefully it's nice. I like it. It's like, kind of just tastes like a black tea really. So interesting. It actually really just tastes like very similar to English breakfast or something like that. Yeah, so for a good 2 years, that's what I wanted to do. I studied yoga. It was like a 200-hour yoga teacher training. I became a qualified yoga teacher. It was like one of the most transformative experiences of my life. It was amazing. And then moved into this place that I'm living in right now. It would have been about a year ago, I think. It would have been about a year ago after I had just moved into this place. I started thinking about the idea of actually just having like a YouTube vlog. I guess I really realized that I would actually probably even be better at doing what I'm doing right now. So yeah, I came to this conclusion that I didn't actually want to start a yoga at home yoga channel. So I decided what kind of channel that I wanted to make. And it still took me a year to start posting videos, which was just recently. I've been filming them for a little while, and within that time I remember watching a bunch of these videos where they're like, take action now, and that made me feel this kind of like, you know, there was this like guilt in the back of my mind, being like, oh, like why haven't you started yet, and things like that. But I just kept feeling like I really needed to just trust in my process. And this comes back to the topic of this video, which is trusting ourselves and our own individual process. So I did. I would watch these videos because they still had a lot of truth in them, a lot of things that resonated with me. And yeah, like I still had this like guilt in the back of my mind, but I just decided to stay true and really trust myself. A lot of these people, say like, don't wait until you're ready. And I understand that concept in the sense that you don't want to be a perfectionist about it. Whatever it is that you want to start, whatever it is that, you haven't taken action on yet, you don't need it to be perfect. Like, that is something I agree with, and I agreed with back then, and I knew that, and I like an element of imperfection in other people's videos as well. So I really just decided to trust myself. And even though I just kept being told, like, start now, take action, blah, 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 I just kept feeling like, no, like, wait, like, keep working on yourself, keep following your intuition and trusting each step that you take. And when the time is right, you will feel when it's time, when you're ready to start. And I am so glad that I trusted that. I am so glad that I listened to that. But I remember at the time doubting myself so much and being like, is that just me being lazy and making excuses for myself? But no, I'm here now, have gotten to this point, and I am so happy that I waited. Within the past year, I have done so much work on myself and my mindset, and just like I've really refined myself and how I wanted to also portray this, like, because over the past year I've had so many ideas, so many insights about what kind of content to make, what kind of topic of conversations, like what kind of things I want to speak about, and like concepts that I have, and I really like let it all build up in a sense. Like I really just allowed it to kind of like simmer. So yeah, if you are in the process of or wanting to start something, like whether it's a creative project or a business or a career or whatever it is, trust your intuition. Yes, absolutely. At some point, you will need to take action. We do need to take action if we want to make our dreams come true. But you don't have to start it now. You don't have to take action every second chance you get. You don't have to push yourself to be super disciplined and all these things straight away. It's a process, and you can trust your intuition. You can trust where your soul is guiding you. I know for me personally, at that time in my life, I really needed to go inwards and really do some deep inner healing and work. And little did I know that my partner, we were taking some time apart, but little did I know that he was going to pass away. And so that happened. And it's not that it would have been a bad thing if I was already making and posting content, but I feel like it would have just put so much more pressure on me if I was already posting content and already, sharing my life. Like I would have felt all this pressure that I needed to keep making content, and not that would have been a bad thing. Like I'm sure people would have appreciated to see and witness that part of my journey, but for myself, I'm so grateful that I didn't, because I did not need any extra pressure from anything during that time. Like that was that was the hardest thing I've ever been through in my life, and maybe ever will go through. It was life shattering. It was but yeah, it is obviously a very sensitive and deep subject for me to delve into, but coming back to the topic at hand, so I had no idea that was going to happen, and I'm so glad that I hadn't started my YouTube channel because it gave me a lot of more space to process that. Over the past year, like, you know, the fact that intro video that I created, like that 3-minute long intro video, like that was the first video I posted, and I think before that video I had created about 5 other videos that will probably never really be on my channel, because I guess they were kind of like me just like experimenting and just seeing what it felt like to film myself and talk about my life and things like that. Like, got to the point where I really felt the calling. Like, I really felt my intuition being like, okay, it's your time is coming. Like, get ready, because you gotta start. As I've said, it took a long time to get to that point, and then I felt it, and so I was like, okay, I gotta start doing this. Every video that I've made since that, like, since that first intro video has it's just felt so good, like so in alignment. Every time I make a video, it just feels so empowering. It like gives me energy, like it energizes me, it inspires me. Like, I absolutely love it, and I don't really feel nervous at all. Like I do get hesitant, but it's like once I push through that, I have like a little feeling of hesitation. I'm like, no, I love this, let's do it. But the point that I'm trying to get across here is that you don't necessarily need to start something just for the sake of starting it, because so many people out there are saying you need to start now, like take action. Like, yes, but it's okay to wait. It is okay to wait and listen and tune into your inner voice and your intuition. We all have intuition. We all have access to that part of ourselves, and I personally am extremely grateful that I waited and listened to my intuition. And even still, like, I haven't pushed myself to like, you know, make so many videos like all at once. I'm like yes, I do have to have a certain amount of discipline in a way, but that has been cultivated like through doing the inner work and like healing myself and like loving myself, and you know, just coming to this like full like whole place within myself. I feel like the discipline has kind of come naturally. Like, yes, I've had to make the discipline happen, but if I had forced myself to be disciplined back when I was still going through like some really, really dark, intense stuff, I think that would have been self-destructive. Like, I actually think it wouldn't have been nurturing or what I needed at that time. I needed to be still and rest and just really heal myself on such a deep level and not push myself to be disciplined. And I just think that for different people at different times in our life, like different things are necessary. And we know that like everybody is so unique in the way that they learn and the way that we're all on such different journeys. Like, if you're watching videos like the ones I'm talking about, like, they're great and they have a lot of amazing truths and wisdom in them, but like, you don't need to listen to them when they're being like, you need to start this and you need to start it now. Like, I really just think that is a little bit dogmatic, and it's a very masculine perspective, and it's fair enough, like we live in a very masculine dominated world, and it's not like one size fits all. And don't feel guilty if you feel like you need to sit and wait until your intuition tells you that it's time. You don't need to feel like you're not on track, or you're never gonna make your dream happen if you haven't started it yet. It's also important to listen to your intuition and take the time to heal yourself, build yourself up, like whatever it is you feel like you need to do. Just trust yourself and trust your process, trust your journey, because maybe for some people it is that they need to get started straight away. Maybe for some people that is the path, and that is perfect. But I think there are a lot of people out there just like me who, you know, might benefit from a slower approach, a more intuitive and like feminine approach. So even for certain men, like this might work better for you too. Take the time to tune into yourself, especially if you are in a phase of healing or darkness. Like, don't put pressure on yourself. You don't need to feel like you have to start that project or that dream or that career. It is okay to wait and take your time, because if you're on the path that we're all on, like if you're watching this video, it's more than likely that you are. You can't make a mistake. You can't make a wrong turn. You can't miss out on anything. Whatever it is that you feel like you need to be doing for yourself right now, at this time in your life, in this moment, you do that. You trust that, because no one can tell you what is right for you. It's so easy for us to judge ourselves and also judge others. Our ego is always trying to make us feel like we're doing something wrong, or judging others thinking they're doing something wrong. When you get rid of ego and you can step away and observe your ego and like actually get in tune with your higher self and your soul and your true essence, we are just playing out this massive play or like a movie. It's like everything that's happening is just happening, and our egos want to be the ones to control everything and take credit for everything that we do, or blame other people for the things that they do. But when we reach a place where we are able to disconnect from our egos enough, we actually see that none of this is anyone's doing. Like, yes, it feels like we are doing things, and if this whole concept is a bit confusing, that's fine. You can just take it or leave it. Like, there is a higher power that is causing all of this to happen. Like, it's kind of relieving when you think about it in that way, because you can kind of relax and realize that there is no mistakes. Nothing can actually go wrong when you relax into that and trust life and trust God, whatever you believe in. When we can step into that perspective, it really helps take the pressure off. The society that we live in is constantly telling us hustle, hustle, work, do this, do that. Even if you are working a job, like a 9 to 5, whatever it is that you do, even if you are in that and you have to be a part of society in that way, you're still playing out that divine role that you're supposed to be playing out. God, the universe, does not make mistakes. Like, life is actually just happening. Like, we can choose to believe that we're the ones doing everything. We can choose to believe that, or we can kind of just sit back and be like, I'm just gonna let life happen through me. I'm just going to let my soul work through me and just trust that every single thing that happens in my life is supposed to be happening for my highest evolution. Life starts to make a whole lot more sense, to be honest, and it takes so much of that pressure and guilt off of us for like not doing things or starting things. Like, obviously there are people out there who never start and never make their dreams come true, but those kind of people aren't doing the work on themselves. Those kind of people aren't living in alignment with their soul, and they're not choosing that path. I would assume that that is why they never actually start. If you're someone who is working on yourself and doing everything you can to be a better person each day, and if you are spiritual, like, you know, doing your spiritual practice, like even if you're just like chipping away at it, just like 10 minutes a day, like, or even like 3 times a week, like, it doesn't matter where you're at. Like, if you have that intention to be truly and genuinely aligned with your soul's highest calling, it doesn't matter what's happening in your life, it is exactly where you need to be. And this is something I've constantly had to come back to and tell myself, like in those moments where I feel so out of alignment, because it's hard to see it, but it is all so divine, and you can trust yourself. You can trust yourself over anybody else's opinion or advice, including mine. If you feel like you resonate with that advice of like, I need to get started on this project right now, then you trust that. You trust that because that is your truth and that is what's going to work for you. But that's not going to be for everyone. Definitely wasn't the case for me. I think that is all I have to say on this topic. Thank you so much for spending your time with me and for being you and showing up as yourself every day in whatever capacity that is right now in your life. Trust yourself. You literally can't make any mistakes if you are on the path of having that intention to be your best self. You can't make any mistakes. So trust yourself. Trust your journey, and I'm sending you so much love. Take care of your beautiful, beautiful self.